What's going on, YouTube? Today I got a mid drop fade comb over for y'all. This is how my boy came in looking, so we're gonna go ahead and get him right. Starting off, I'm clearing the canvas or just debulking it with my 1.5 guard, just clearing out some of that bulk so that way I can see my guidelines whenever I'm setting them in. And I'm careful not to take it too high, just kind of bring it up to just below the parietal ridge. And before this step, I went ahead and already did my scissor work, but I didn't catch that on camera. Now that I got that bulk knocked down, I'm coming in and setting it in my zero line or my bald line, and I'm got my lever completely closed, and I'm just kind of setting it in at the top of his ear, and I'm curving it around the top of his ear as I go back. And then once I come to the back of the head, I will be dropping it below his occipital bone, and I'm going to be doing the same on the other side just to match it, and it has that symmetry. Once I set in my guideline, my first one or my zero line, and I was happy with that, I went ahead and moved on to my trimmer so I could knock down the stubble, just so that way it's a lot easier when I come in with my shaver just to get that down to skin. Now we're following that up with the shaver, getting everything down to zero or down to skin. And whenever you're doing this, you don't want to bring it all the way up to your bald line because it's going to leave a harsh line. So you just kind of, once you get closer to that bald line, you're going to release the pressure off of your shaver and kind of flick out towards the top of it. Setting in our first guideline, I have my lever completely open and I'm going up about a finger's width, and whenever I'm coming up with it, I am flicking out towards the top, so that way when I set in my second guideline, it's a lot easier to take out that, that middle line. You guys will see what I'm talking about whenever it comes to blending it out, but anytime you set in a guideline, the further you go up, make sure you flick out towards the top, so that way it's easier on you to take out that line instead of making it harder to take out, and that leads to you taking a lot longer to get your client taken care of. After I got my guideline set in, I work on taking it out. And I start by closing my lever halfway, and I'm going halfway up the guideline, being careful not to go all the way up, but just halfway. That usually just softens up the guideline for me. And then once I got everything softened out, I close the lever completely and I start flicking at that bottom line. Now I threw on my one guard and I'm going up another finger's width. And it's the same process. You set in a guideline and you take it out. It's kind of fading up and it prevents me from going any higher than I need to. But I'm going around the head, fingers width up, and then afterwards I'm gonna be coming after that with my half guard. Now I'm coming back behind that one guard with my half guard, taking out the guideline. And I got my lever at the halfway position and I'm just kind of flicking halfway through that guideline. Now with these steps, it's kind of just rinse and repeat. The higher we go up, We're just going to be fading as we go. So I'm throwing out my 2 guard now. And once I set in that guideline, I'm going to be taking out with the 1.5 guard. Now, if you use the same method that I'm using in this video, sometimes coming back with that 1.5 guard won't always get the line out completely, but what it will do is soften it up. So, you're just gonna go and attack this area with the 1.5, softening it up. And to get that line completely out, you'll see me switch back over to my 1 guard. And I'm honestly just gonna be doing lever play, feeling out, whichever lever position it needs to be in to take out the line that I'll be attacking. After softening it up with that 1.5 guard, I'm coming back after it with my 1 guard. And to finish taking out or fading out that line, I got my lever position usually between the 2/3 open or the halfway closed position to fade it out. That's kind of my sweet spot. But of course, if those positions still aren't getting that line faded out completely, then by all means go ahead and close it or open it as much as you need to. Now I'm just floating my 3 guard off the side of his head. I don't want to dig in or anything. I don't want to ruin the shape. I like the shape how it looks right now, especially with the comb over. You want some of the hair or the hair on top to be able to sit on, what's on the sides. So I'm just flicking out off the parietal ridge, just making sure not to dig in and keep the shape. Now tying in the whole fade together, I'm coming back and doing detail work, and I'm switching between my 1.5 guard and half guard while I'm detailing. And you just kind of work the lever as you need to. And right here, I'm grabbing the hair that hangs over the parietal ridge at a vertical angle, and I'm just matching the hair that's underneath the parietal ridge to the hair that's gonna be on top, so everything fades together. Now I'm prepping the canvas to set in my hard part, and I'm being very careful, making sure all the hairs are going in the direction that they need to go. And when I'm setting in my hard part, I'm very cautious, making sure that my trimmer isn't straying and it's staying straight. And I'm just tapping and going. I'm taking my time with this. And then once I set in that first one, I'm gonna flip the trimmer over and do the same thing, so that way there's a clean line on both sides of that hard part. And after I set in my hard part, I'm gonna go ahead and just frame in the haircut by setting in or lining him up. And it's the same steps, the same process with the hard part, where you're just tapping as you go. I usually start in the middle and then I walk my way to one side, and then once I got that how I want it, I'll go back to the middle and work my way to the other side as well. And to finish the haircut, I'm going ahead, I'm just throwing in some pomade in his hair, styling it for him, so that way it just kind of sets everything together.